let us move on to running backs. And this has been a murky situation with the exception of DeMarco Murray, who every single week has rushed for over 100 yards and at least one score. Marshawn Lynch is a great second play at Washington. He's getting it done every week with the same kind of regularity that Murray has been. After that, it's you've got McCoy. You've got some faith in LaShawn McCoy. As we noted, he's going to get Lane Johnson back from suspension this week, so the Eagles' offensive line should stabilize a little bit. But he has 29 carries for 39 yards in the last 2 weeks, 0 catches. And you have to think that Chip Kelly's going to make an adjustment to, if he's not getting the ball anywhere, if he's not moving the ball on the ground, give him some screens or something like that. Like if he's getting met in the backfield by opposing defenders, we got to get him some screens. Don't throw all those to Darren Sproles. I don't understand.
I don't get it either. And this will probably be the last. If he underperforms again, I think this is going to be the last week that we see McCoy as a top 5 rated running back. There have been a lot of people, obviously, mostly in the social media world, who've just been getting their grouse on about the fact that McCoy hasn't pointed significantly this year because everybody spent their first or second pick overall on him. If there's ever been a matchup, they're home. They're coming off of a loss. They were embarrassed on the road. The
Rams are giving up 5.1 yards per carry.
The Rams front 7 is dinged up big time. This seems like the plumb perfect time to get him 27 carries, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns so that everyone can just go, that's more like it.
Yeah, I agree. And 4, Rashad Jennings versus Atlanta. At home against the Falcons. The Falcons just allowed Matt Asiata and Jerick McKinnon to run for 200-plus yards. Yeah, Rashad Jennings is a great. There's some people, I'm seeing some serious concern that because Andre Williams came on to run for 66 or 68 yards in a score last week, you've got to pick up Andre Williams because Rashad Jennings isn't going to get the work. No, Rashad Jennings stopped carrying the ball because the Giants were beating the snot out of the Redskins, and Tom Coughlin let the rookie take some of the beating.
It was 38-14. You want to get him some game experience, number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, it was 38-14. Number 3, Kirk Cousins had just thrown his 17th interception of the second half.
An NFL record.
The game was in hand, pocket, and backpack at that point.
Yeah.
It was signed, sealed, and delivered. No, Smash Williams just got a little relief duty, a little garbage time, a little GT, all good. Rashad Jennings has been tremendous, top 5 running back.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been one of the more pleasant surprises on the season. And when we were talking and doing our little mini State of the Fantasy Union through 4 weeks earlier, one of the things I talked about how the RB1s or the especially the first 5 or 6 had been kind of bumming me out a little bit, and most people in general. The RB2s, the guys who you drafted to be your RB2 probably, who you were hoping would just give you 7 to 9 points a week, guys like Le'Veon Bell, guys like Rashad Jennings. Guys like even Giovanni Bernard have all been doing a bang-up job.
Andre Ellington, who has been banged up but has actually done pretty well despite that. He hasn't been in the end zone yet. He will. Andre Ellington I still have faith in. Someone who I would not put on that list is Toby Gerhart.
No. Nope.
And that's all we have to say about Toby Gerhart.
And Toby Gerhart appeared last week in your fantasy line. And that was that.
Moving on, you've got Le'Veon Bell at Jacksonville. That is one of the easier, better plays throughout the week. Listen, if you've got any position against Jacksonville, I want to point out how bad Jacksonville is. They're giving up the most fantasy points to quarterbacks, the second most fantasy points to wide receivers, the third most fantasy points to running backs, third most against tight ends, most to kickers, most to defenses. There's not anything that Jacksonville does well.
No. Jacksonville, Pittsburgh this week is coming off of a real emotional karate chop to the dude region of a loss to Tampa Bay with that Mike Glennon to Vincent Jackson pass in the last 10 seconds. That's a tough one. When you have that kind of real-life NFL hangover, what do you need? What do you need when you have a wicked hangover?
The Jaguars. Yeah, you need that green drink.
No, forget that. I'm going I am putting on weight today to just get past how I feel. I'm going everything bagel, cream cheese, Bloody Mary, and I need like one of the diehards on TNT. I'm just full day on the sofa getting fat, and that is what the Jaguars are.
I go full out. I go full on bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, and then like a huge green drink that tastes awful, mostly like kale and parsley and some lime juice. And I eat all that, and then I go back to sleep.
And then you sleep it off, and you just let all those phytonutrients do their work.
Do its thing. No. That's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh no, I just do everything terrible. I'm talking like get the everything bagel with cream cheese. I may open it up and pour a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos on top of it. I'll get in, dude. I'm the guy that ate hallway pizza. What do you expect? I am a raccoon. I am a 6'1" Irish Greek raccoon. I am an embarrassment, and I am not ashamed to admit it.
All right, I don't think we need to. You have Eddie Lacy versus Minnesota next at number 6.
Minnesota's giving their top bottom 10 against the run.
Lacy 17 for 48 last week with a touchdown, another one called back because of a holding call. Mm-hmm. I'm not too worried about Eddie Lacy, not because he's going to be fine, he's looking good. He might have a serious case of Trent Richardsonitis. I don't know. He does not look good, but I'm not concerned because that's the Packers offense, and as long as he's getting carries inside the 3-yard line, I don't really care.
So if you're a brick dude house of a human who carries the football for Nick Saban and you've got dreadlocks and you get drafted in the first round, you're going to have a good half a season then just suck?
I don't know. There's certainly a precedent there.
I don't say it isn't so. And they come in threes, which means there's another one to come. Oh, TJ Yeldon, keep your hair short, man. Yeah, I don't think, I think there's just probably a little health and maybe some continuity. Again, it's something, we talked about it earlier. This is what's killing the Patriots. It's what's helping Phillip Rivers. I think this is also going to be what helps Green Bay. As they remain healthy, as their offensive line has stability and continuity, that's going to allow Eddie Lacy to run more like Marshawn Lynch, which is just sort of like the way Eddie Lacy attacked the offensive line last year. It's like he had, what did you just say about my mother? And then just came at people and just came at the line. As opposed to the way they used to say like Brandon Jacobs, like for a guy that size, they used to say like he ran like he was wearing a towel and just came out of the shower and was trying to answer the phone. You know what I mean? Just that. Sorry. Don't want to slip. I don't want to slip. Sorry. Excuse me. So yeah, I think we'll see a return to form for Eddie Lacy. Big Thursday night for him and the Packers in general.
I want to skip down the rankings a little bit,
Sure.
Down to number 13, and a pleasant surprise for fantasy owners. Jamaal Charles is at San Francisco.
Charles.
I think I don't want to put too much weight on the 3 touchdowns and 108 yards from scrimmage he had against the Patriots, because I don't want to just base on what just happened. But 13th is a little bit low for a guy who we expected to be good. I was super worried about that high ankle sprain. He did not look like a man who was hurt at all. He looked fantastic.
He did. He looked the best he's looked since early last year.
Yeah.
He looked like somebody who hadn't taken a lot of hits, who trusted his line. And again, this is another thing. Eric Fisher growing into starting to look like a real left tackle in the NFL, starting to look like somebody who should have gone number 1 overall. Their offensive line is gelling. It makes all the difference in the world. Back in the day when all those running backs used to put up monstrous numbers pre and then during the heyday of early 2000s fantasy, it was always about the fact that Willie Roaf was a turretless tank that would just pull out and lead block.
Yep.
So their line's coming together. Jamaal Charles looks great. Niall Davis looks fantastic as well.
Niall Davis also had 100 yards rushing.
I know. Did you know he was actually the strongest football player on the Arkansas football team? He could out-bench press every single person on his offensive and defensive line.
I did not know that.
That is a big, strong man to have backing up one of the quintessential fleet-footed sort of Marshall Faulk fantasy back.
Yeah, he's
awesome.
He's great.
Great combo.
I expect him to have, again, San Francisco is a tough defense, but I think he'll be fine.
That's why I have him ranked a little bit lower, because we did just see, even though they were a little dinged up on the line themselves, we did just see LaShawn McCoy go for LaShawn McNothing. So.
And then number 16, C.J. Spiller gets a very tough matchup at Detroit. But I will say, it's so strange for me to say positive things about Kyle Orton, but what a huge step up Kyle Orton is from E.J. Manuel.
Kyle Orton, his resume. You know how Tom Brady posted his resume on the internet a few weeks ago? I was like, oh, that's so funny. Kyle Orton posted his. Do you know what it said right beneath the address?
What's that?
Not E.J. Manuel. I think this is actually, he played really well last year in that, played very well actually in that game until he, till like the little Broadway playbill said, and now starring in the fourth quarter in the part of Tony Romo will be Kyle Orton. He threw that awful interception. He played pretty well for the Cowboys last year. He's a capable quarterback.
Yeah.
He is a perfectly good, especially you give him some young weapons. He's got a good running game.
Sammy Watkins takes a huge tick up in my book.
He could be the guy joining Kelvin Benjamin in the new Fantasy Superstar Club.
I'd like that.
I would too.
Speaking of new fantasy superstars, that's probably not accurate to say about this next one. But at 19, you've got Bishop Sankey playing versus Cleveland. Coach Ken Wisenhunt confirmed that Sankey will get more touches this week. So goodbye, Sean Green. It was no fun having you on any team at all. Bishop Sankey finally getting his due. He had, I think, 70 or so yards plus a touchdown last week. I'm very excited to see him actually get a little bit more of a workload.
What was the over/under on number of games we would actually mention Sean Green? It had to have been 3.5, right?
Yeah, it was. We basically hit it right on.
Right on.
We essentially
halfway
pushed
through between weeks 3 and 4. We're like, now we can stop caring about him.
Yep.
And also Ben Tate, I have in the now. I know he's questionable, but he has been practicing. Now here we are broadcasting live / taping for your listening or viewing pleasure on a Wednesday afternoon from New York City, capital of the world. And Ben Tate has been practicing, and Mike Pettin has said if he continues to practice this well and look as good as he does, he'll get the start on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Ben Tate. It's just that three-headed monster because Isaiah Crowell's been I think he had over 5 yards per carry, more touchdowns than even who's been.
Terrence West.
Terrence West. Thank you.
He's getting the. Yeah, they've had a great. They've had their little thunder and lightning combo going. Terrence West will get the yards, then Crowell comes in and gets the touchdowns and vultures up all the points.
So that's sort of the thing where now we got the three-headed monster, and it's like I would prefer not to be involved with that. I don't want to get too involved, too heavily invested in any one of those running backs because I don't know. That's going to be a fluid situation throughout the season. It's like being if you've got a Ravens running back this season. Oh, it's Bernard Pierce. Just kidding. It's Justin Forsett. Oh, just kidding. It's Taliaferro. I don't take that away from me. I don't want it. Just give me somebody who does nothing with 20 carries a game. Like that's just what I want.
Yeah, nobody loves, Greek mythology and monster movies are great for hydras or three-headed dogs at the gate to hell. Fantasy, not so much.
Not interested.
Nope.
Let's round up the running back discussion with your 20th pick, Jerick McKinnon. You're putting him ahead of Matt Asiata. Now, obviously, I think Jerick McKinnon is the better long-term investment. He's clearly the more electric, elusive back, but
7.5 YPC last week.
He had 18 carries for 135, I think, but I think that you're not going to see that kind of production from him every week. I think Matt Asiata is still going to be good for 18 carries every week and a lot more passes caught. The Vikings love Asiata as a pass blocker, where McKinnon isn't up to speed yet, and they like Asiata as a pass catcher as well. So you're going to see Asiata with his 18 carries for 60 yards. 50.
18 carries for 49 yards.
49
He's going to put up an Eddie Lacy.
And then, but he's going to get every goal line carry, and he's going to get an extra 4 to 6 catches for another 30 or 40 yards.
Right. Asiata is, to me, he's like Hawaiian Sean Green. Just somebody who I shouldn't have to care about that much longer.
I don't think he's actually Hawaiian.
Same thing. Whatever. It's fine. Close enough. He looks like an extra from Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I don't care. Actually, Jerick McKinnon, to me, this is a new Washington Redskins dynamic to me. Because Jerick McKinnon looks like somebody who's got the speed, he's got the moves, looks like he's very fast, literally bursting onto the scene last week. Great combine, a lot of hype on him. It's good to finally see it happen. Yes, it did come against one of those 3 hangover remedy.
The Falcons are terrible against the run.
Pint of Ben & Jerry's and Shawshank on TV remedy. Whenever you play Washington, Jacksonville, or Atlanta, you start everybody.
Yep.
So yes, that's how he burst onto the scene. And no, it's not going to be as easy against Green Bay, considering that they're actually a top 12 rushing defense. But at the same time, Asiata he's like a Roy Hillu. He's a Darrell Young. That's why I made the comparison to Washington. Like, he'll somehow get the touchdowns, but can you really rely on that?
So far, you can.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, touchdowns matter. That's right. I forgot.